Hey, Alex. Hey guys, what's up? It's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel, Real Talk Recovery, where we talk about recovery from addiction and I share my life with you. So, how's everybody doing this evening? Welcome to our Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time live stream. Um, hey Nate, can you grab me my phone so I can check and see if Jeff texted me? Bring it down here real fast. Huh? Go grab it for me. And I'll get you one of those and open it up for you. Hey guys, welcome everybody. Tonight we're going to talk about, hey Seth, what's up? South Carolina in the house. Hey Deidre, what's up, girl? So tonight we're going to talk about how me and my husband got sober and stayed sober, and hopefully if Jeff joins us, he's going to share with us how him and his wife got sober and stayed sober. I know you guys probably hear all the time, like, when you're in treatment or from other addicts that are, in recovery, that, it's hard to get sober when you're in a relationship with somebody. Nate, go get my phone and I'll get that for you. What would you like? What would you like? Tell me.
The little unicorn rainbow thing. The thing to eat.
The fruit roll-ups?
Yeah.
Okay. I got you and you get me. And then I'll let you have my phone to play a game. All right. All righty then. Welcome, everybody. Come on in. Have a seat. Here. Watch me. Watch me. Watch me. Watch me.
Am I doing the flash right?
Yes, you are.
No.
Let me see that real fast so I can see if Jeff. That's not my phone. That's the remote control to the TV. Hey, Debbie. Hey, Merk. Hey, Cindy. Hey, Byron. What's up, you guys? Okay, so hopefully Jeff will come on over. I sent him an email, so he'll see it when he gets home, hopefully. Yeah, baby.
Here, this.
Thank you, my love. Thank you, my love. Okay. All right. Sorry, I gotta check and see. Okay, Daddy's on his way home. Okay, I'm ready. I'm on. I'm ready. Sent you the link. Okay, hey Shannon, what's up? What's up, Dino? Hey everybody, what's up? Okay, cool. I'm glad you guys are all coming in. Okay, so what's the tea, everybody? What's going on in everybody's life? How many of you guys are in relationships with another addict? How many of you guys got sober with your significant other? Like both of you guys are in recovery. Is there anybody out here who has a husband or a wife who's sober also? Because if you guys didn't know, I'm in recovery and so is my husband. And I remember when I was in treatment, y'all, the first 2 weeks I was there, I had Neil sneaking me Xanaxes in. And so we got busted the first 2 weeks. So the second 2 weeks that I was in treatment, the treatment center was like, you can't have any contact with him, right? Because we weren't married yet. Shannon, you and your boyfriend are. Cindy, I know you and Kevin are. That's what's up. That's cool. And so it can be done. You know what I mean? If you are in a relationship with someone who is also an addict, you guys can get sober and stay sober. It can be done. Now, it's difficult, you guys. Like, I'm going to share with you guys some of the difficulties that I have experienced in my relationship with my husband. And then when Jeff comes on, he's going to share with you guys his experience with his wife. So since Jeff's not here yet, I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys about me and Neil. Okay. So first of all, you guys know my son got taken away in July of 2015. He got taken away on the 2nd. His birthday is on the 4th. Okay. So he hadn't turned 1 year old yet. And when he got taken away, I knew right then the jig was up. I had to go into treatment because for one thing that I always said, you guys, I was like, I will never get my kid taken away. That's just That's what I said. You know what I mean? I was like, that's the epitome of the worst drug addict you could ever be. How could those mothers get their children taken away? And this is me. Like, I'm saying this in my mind before I ever got my own child taken away. And I think that's what a lot of us do, you guys. Okay, girl. I think a lot of us, when we're in our active addiction, we think that it'll never happen to us, or that we're somehow like better than that situation. And I had seen a lot of people I know go through addictions and get their children taken away by DHS. And so, or I had seen family girls that I was friends with have kids and then just leave their kids with their parents. And then you guys also need to understand that my sister Michelle had my nephew when she was 16, almost 17. She got pregnant, she's 16. And so my nephew, his birthday is on the 23rd, and he's going to be 17 years old. My nephew Nicholas. He's named after me and my dad. So my sister had her little boy really, really young. And because of her mental illness, bipolar disorder, and her addiction, my mother and father stepped up and they helped my sister a lot with her son. My mom took him to school every day. He stayed at our house. You know, like my sister never had to worry about not having someone there to help her with her little boy. Hold on, you guys. It's just Daddy. Paco, quit set tripping. Hold on, you guys. Y'all know how it is around here. Come here, Paco. Don't go tight. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Hey. Hey, guys. Hey, babe. Hello. 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 What, you want to go outside? Say hi, guys. Say hi to everybody. Come here, Paco. Say. Oh, he gave me a kiss. Did you see that? You want to go see Daddy? Oh. Okay, you want to go see Daddy? Okay. Hold on, guys. I got to let Paco out. He's set trip. Go see Daddy. You want to go see Daddy? Okay. Okay. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Let me get my... Sorry. Get back to the movie, Nicole. I mean, the video.
Yeah, just mail it tomorrow whenever you go to the store.
Okay. Will you come over here and say hi to everybody? Mr. Neal? They've all been asking about you. You guys are going to get to see my husband now, finally.
Hello, everybody.
Say, what's up? My name's Neal.
You're cool.
Okay. So, a lot of us think that we'll never overdose, but it can happen to anyone. A lot of people are dying out there during these holidays. If you need help, reach out. Do not suffer in silence. Cindy, I'm telling you, girl, and this is...
Did you already make food?
I actually made minestrone soup and turkey sandwiches for me and Nate. So the soup's right there behind you. I like beefed it up. I added black eyed peas. It's really good.
Okay.
Or you can make yourself the rice, the orange chicken, and the egg rolls if you want to. Or you can look in the freezer, and I got a lot of breakfast stuff. I got sausage biscuits, I got quiche thingies, and I got French toast sticks.
Gotcha.
Okay. Hey, Aaron, what's up? Where have you been? We hadn't seen you around in a while. Glad you're back. I know, I did good, Aaron. I've been trying to make sure that I cook like something not too heavy in the evening times, because my husband gets off either at 7 or 10, or if he works during the day, he doesn't get off until 7, 10, or 5. So usually by the time he gets off, he's like either eating at work, or he's like, you know how when you get off work and you've got like your adrenaline going and you've been working really hard, so when you come in, you're not really hungry. So a lot of times what he'll do is he'll go upstairs and get changed, lay down, and then he'll wake back up like at 10 and eat. But he can handle that, y'all. He's skinny, so he can eat at 10 o'clock at night and nothing happens. Like there's no, his metabolism is fast still. And I was telling, me and Nate went to go eat at IHOP today for a little son mom date. and he had like a cheeseburger and something else, and I had some eggs and on a tortilla, Mexican style. I had eggs with salsa and an avocado, and I wrapped it up in a tortilla. And but me and Nate were sitting there, and the lady that was waiting on us, she was like, "How old is he? 4?" And I was like, "No, he's 5." And she was like, "My son's the same way. He doesn't want to eat anything," because Nate literally took like 2 bites of his hamburger and then just didn't want any more. So I had to save it and bring it home and all that stuff. But his little metabolism, he has his daddy's metabolism because he stays fit and trim. Hey, Jeff, I see you right there. I see you. I see. Hey, Shannon Marie, what's up, girl?
So how's it going?
What's up, man? It's going good.
It's been a long day, man. Busy day too. I just got done
I understand.
with playing with a bunch of first graders at church, so it's been a little hectic, but it's all good. Good stuff.
So here's the thing. I was starting to tell everybody about me and Neil and how we got sober, but I told them when you got here, I wanted you to come on because they've heard all of my stories. And so I know that you and me wanted to talk about, getting sober with your significant other and what your experience was doing that. What problems did you run into? Did you guys have to separate and not see each other for a while? Or did you ever, like when she came back and you guys moved back in together, did you ever have trigger situations where you want to choose? Just stuff like that.
Yeah, that's all good things. We did have some time apart, but at the same time, like we were supportive of each other. Like I got locked up, so we had like a year apart. And then even when I got home, like we were separated for a little while, but she was still supportive for me and vice versa. But so, I mean, we had some time to work on our lives alone, but it wasn't, in the scheme of things, like a year and a half ain't, it ain't as long as it seems either. So,
right.
Yeah, there were some triggers there were some triggers we had to work with through like some codependency issues. I mean, when we used together, we were living in like, motels, crack houses, shooting galleries, whatever you want to call it, dope houses.
Right.
So like when I got locked up, like she took that time to get sober, work on getting my stepson back, her son. So, it kind of made things easier when we got back together. Like we both had some time under our belt. So,
yeah.
When we did get back together, we were able to work through some issues we had. And we had to work through a lot of issues because like, you know how it is when you're using together, like there's infidelity, different things. There was things I was.
So, how did you guys, did you cheat on her? Did she cheat on you? And how did y'all work past that?
It was hard because I had been unfaithful when I was using, before I got locked up. And she had gave me like every chance, even when I was locked up, like she had found out. And she had gave me a lot of chances to tell her. And like, I just wouldn't tell her because I was locked up and I didn't want to tell her while I'm locked up about these things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it took a while to build trust back, when we were getting back together and doing it sober. So it was tricky, there was definitely some, we had to work past some resentments we had with each other, and that was on both, that was her and me both, because
so was she working with a sponsor separately and you were working with someone separately, or were you guys like, how did you guys do that? Because honestly, like with me and Neil, I've just been like working on my recovery, like with my sponsor, with my therapy. And I think we've been to therapy together one time, but it was kind of like, I just kind of took the lead and started doing my thing. And I was like praying that he kind of followed behind me, So how did you guys get to a place to where you're on the same path together,
We actually like we did some counseling like with our pastor and stuff, plus having like I did some stuff with my sponsor as well. we both worked the program. So, we both did like our own thing as far as our own recovery. Cause you can't put your guys' recovery together. That's one thing. Like,
Yeah.
She went on maintenance years before I did. And, I tell you what, it did her so much good because she was able to get her son back. And, she didn't have to go through being locked up a year like I did. And, I still ended up on maintenance, even though I had a couple years abstinence. So,
Yeah.
but we definitely had to work we both had to work through things on our own. And that's what I do want to say to people is you don't have to just give up on somebody, but you got to put your recovery first and everything else should work itself out. And if if they're using, you can't, you know what I mean? You got to realize you can't fall back to try to pull them up because it's going to do the opposite. They're going to pull you down,
Right.
You're going to have to be, work your own program. That way, if you do want it to work out, even if they do relapse and you don't, if you're working your own program, that's, you know what I mean? Like that's the only way to keep it going in the right direction. You don't have to give up on somebody 100%, but you definitely have to work your own program is basically what I would say to anyone is, if you've been putting off going into treatment because you always hear that you're supposed to leave your significant other, blah, 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 or that you can't do that. I do want to say it is possible. I mean, our life is completely different than what it was when we used together. I mean, we serve in our community together and, it's just completely different. So it is possible is the main thing I want to say.
I feel like what happens is like for me, because I went into treatment and Neil was out here on the outside, out here getting high while I was in rehab. And then we got busted and they were like, you guys can't talk to each other while you're in treatment. And so they made it to where I couldn't talk to him for the last 2 weeks of my rehab. I truly believe that if our son hadn't been in foster care at that time, I don't know if we would have came together and gotten sober and did it. You know what I mean? Like, I think what would have happened is we probably would have relapsed together if we didn't have Nathaniel. If we had never had Nathaniel and didn't get him taken away and it was just us and I decided to go to treatment, because that had happened many times where he would go into rehab and I would be out here, or I would go and like vice versa, I would try to get sober and he would be not trying to get sober. And so each time our son is what brought us together to get sober and stay together and stay sober together, was the love for our kid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're saying because that actually was one of the things that, like, when I got locked up, the reason my wife, my now wife, then girlfriend, the reason she went ahead and got sober at that point was because her son had been with her grandparents for a little bit when we were out using. So like she took that time to get clean, to get on maintenance. That way she can get her son back. And that's the one thing, that's why she was able to get clean, without going, to long-term treatment, was because that was her motivation, was to get her son back and try to give him somewhat of a stable life. So
right.
I definitely agree with you.
I think that motivation and your love for your kid can bring two people together, but that's not going to be the thing that holds them together. You know what I mean? Like after that brought me and Neil together to get sober and stay sober together, I had to work on my recovery and he's had to find what works for him. Cindy wants me to ask you a question. She says, Cindy's journey, Cindy Moore.
Yeah.
She says, I have a question. If one person relapses, what would you do? So if your wife went out and relapsed today, what would you do, Jeff?
I tell you, I mean, man, that's a good question. I would definitely, I would be on her, to be plugging into a program even more. If it was something that continued, like more than just like a one-time use, that would be tricky because I would have to probably just like she would have to remove me from the situation, it'd be vice versa, because if you don't remove yourself from it, you're going to, you know what I mean? I would end up using with her, You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like if I stay to try to rescue her or vice versa, we're gonna just get high together. You see what I'm saying? So that's the one thing. Like I believe you both have to have your own motivation to stay sober, because you know what I mean. If you intertwine your two programs, it's gonna be messy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I understand.
you know,
I tried to intertwine me and Neil's program. I tried to do that. I tried to like make him do what I was doing. I tried to control his recovery. And it didn't he pushed back. He was like he pushed me away because I was trying to fit him into my recovery box. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And Cindy, just so you know, Cindy, and I think you probably already know this, but I think it was 1, 2, 3 times that me and Neil went through that. And I thought each time when it happened, the first time when it happened, I was just freaking out. I called his mom, I called my mom and dad. Um, I was just so upset. The second time it happened, I found myself in the room with him. It was late at night. Nathaniel was asleep, and I was like, just let me get high with you. Just take me with you. Let's go get high together. Because I was like, I didn't know. I almost felt like I needed to do what he needed to do. What I needed to get high with him to be back connected. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
To where, because I felt like I had gotten sober and I was doing good. I had like a year and a half, almost 2 years sober, and I felt like I was losing this connection with him. And so in my addict mind, with only 2 years sober, I thought you need to get high with him so that way you guys can be connected again. And so I'm in the bedroom and he's out of his mind, and I'm like, just let me get high. Just I'll do it with you. I was crying. And he's like, high, but also in his right mind enough to say, "Are you fucking crazy?" You know what I mean?
yeah.
And that was the second time, and I was like, "I'm gonna relapse. I'm gonna relapse. I'm gonna relapse." You know, and then my son's not gonna have me or his dad.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's when I was like, I have got to set down some ground rules, some boundaries, because something's got to change. This can't keep on happening. And I remember calling my sponsor, and she was like, first and foremost, you need to get all the money y'all have together and put it into savings. So that way, if something does happen, you will be you'll no matter what. You know, and I also,
Yeah.
I called my mother in law, I called my mom and dad, and we all talked. And I set down these boundaries and these ground rules. And then it happened again. And I remember it happened the third time, and I came onto my channel, and I was just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I'm gonna have to make a decision. You know, this is coming to a point where I'm gonna have to make a choice, and it's gonna be my son. You
Yeah.
know, and I was like, you gotta leave. And he went to his mom's house, and then he almost lost his job. And that was I think that was what woke him up to realize, like, he had to change, because that job is like, it's our livelihood, and it means a lot to him. It helps him realize that that he can take care of us, you know.
Yeah.
And so when he almost lost his job, I think it was a wake up call, and that helped to transition him into the willingness to actually work with a sponsor and start trying to like get guidance from some other people that were in recovery. And that's where we've been. That's been about a year and a couple months ago. So we've been going strong for about a year and a couple months. But this is the way it goes. It's like, I don't know if this is how it was with you and your wife, but with me and Neil, like, I know him like the back of my hand. I know it can go good. It can go good for 10 years. And then
Yeah.
one thing will happen. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's the thing is, you know, that's what we do is like you said, one thing can happen. Like, I had, when I lost my mother, is when my last relapse was, and you know, thank goodness I was able to get on you know, a maintenance program and stuff, because I went back out for a month after like 2.5 years clean. So what it is a lot of times we've never learned how to deal with things without getting high. So when something that, you know, traumatic comes up, that's, you know, that's where we go. And that's why we got to have that self-worth and, like, you know, them things in us to where we don't want to lose all what we've gained with our recovery, and learning how to deal with things. That's why I always tell people, like, go into, a lot of people don't like to, you hear going to like counseling, like it's a bad thing a lot of times, or, people think, oh, that's for crazy people, whatever. And, a lot of times addicts just don't know how to deal with their feelings. So like we always medicate, we always self-medicated to deal with, anything
Right.
that came up that, we didn't know how to deal with it. So we'd go get high. And so I've had that happen. And that's one reason I started plugging into more than just even recovery. Like I actually got like a counselor I seen for a while, that I seen every other week, because I had to learn to work through grief without using, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like what they say about, we're only as old, mentally as old as what we are when we started using. I believe that's true, because, I was 35 when I lost my mom, and I didn't know how to deal with that on my, you know what I mean? Like a normal 35-year-old would deal with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And did you relapse after, like, shortly after your mom passed away?
Yeah. And that's one thing I realized, when that happened, I was like, man, I don't know how to deal with my feelings. Because I always got high to do it. And that's when I started trying to, make sure I took care of my mental health as a part of my recovery. And I recommend that to
Yeah.
people, at least, especially the first year, because you're going to get a lot of value out of it. Because like you said, we got to learn how to have healthy boundaries. Addicts don't know how to do that. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of them things, simple things that normal people, that people who didn't have addiction issues, they know how to deal with things we don't. And it's because we've
Especially
always,
when you're using, when you're a couple, like you and your wife, me and my husband, and you're using together, like nothing was off limits. I mean, we used each other's syringes. I mean, it was just like, it was just, there was no boundaries. So when we got sober, there was no boundaries and there was no communication. And so for me, this was when I had to start looking at myself and realizing that I had a hell of a lot of character defects. I'm not a good communicator. When I communicate, especially if I'm emotional, I'm yelling or crying or screaming.
yeah,
And especially with my husband, it's like I go on I'm attacking. I'm on attack mode,
yeah.
And I had to learn, like, I was like, wow, I'm not as recovered as I think I am, because I can't even have a conversation with my husband without yelling at him.
No, that's what I was getting to say, bro. I realized like a couple years into recovery, I mean, just not even 2 years ago, I realized all my feelings would come out. If it was sad, sadness, anger, whatever it was, I would come off with anger. You know what I mean? That all my feelings, that were any type of negative feeling, would come off more as anger than anything, because I never learned how to deal with that stuff properly. And
Yeah.
that's one reason I believe, that's why they tell you do have that. That's why people recommend you separate to get clean. Is because you can't intertwine each other's recovery. You know what I mean? That's the one thing I'd say is, like, you both, he's going to find his self-worth maybe in his job and providing for you guys, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
that could be a huge motivation to keep him sober, whereas like your recovery and serving, you know what I mean? Everybody's going to find their self-worth in different things. And I think that's the biggest thing for addicts. We lose our self-worth when we're out there doing whatever we have to do to get by. So I think that's one of the biggest things you got to build up to not relapse.
Yeah.
Because don't get me wrong,
For sure.
there's still things that come up, like that are hard to deal with. Like when my niece, when I got the call about my niece, like it tore me up. I broke down in tears, because she's so young. I just know she's got a long life ahead of her that might be a lot of pain to get where if she ever does get into recovery or whatever. And it breaks my heart for her, because I know I know how it is. There's a lot of pain when you got to get sober, or just even if you never get clean, it's painful when you're out on the streets using every day. It's lonely. You know what I mean? Like, it's a depressing life.
Oh yeah.
So,
It's not fun. That's
yeah.
what I think, like, people that actually think that we enjoy, like, don't get me wrong, like, I was partying my ass off when I first started getting high, but it just turns into not fun anymore. Hey, Dr. B. Hey, Shane. What's up, you guys? Thanks for
Hey,
being
Dr.
here. We
B.
appreciate you guys for being here. This is what I wanted to ask you. I wanted to ask you this because this was a fear I had. Tell me if you had the same fear, and if your wife had this fear, if you can answer for her. When you guys were getting sober or about to get sober, were you afraid that your wife wouldn't love the sober you?
You know what? I didn't have that fear. I'd say my biggest fear was like one of us, you know what I mean? Like her going back out. Like, it was hard to build trust to where I would be like, oh, she's not going to go get high. You know what I mean? Like, to build trust like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, I never really had that fear. But it's hard, for a while I had fears like she would go get high, and me not know or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I
Like,
was always afraid that Neil wouldn't love me sober. Um, and then I also, well, I was always afraid of him going out and relapsing, and I never trusted him even before he ever got high. Like, even before he relapsed, I didn't trust him. So I never even gave him I didn't even give him a little pinch of trust. But let me tell you what he did, and this is how forgiving and amazing my husband is. He never ever has questioned me. He's never thought I relapsed. He's never, nothing ever. The only thing he gives me a hard time about is spending money on makeup. That's it.
hey,
And when I tell him, I'm like, hey, be happy it's just Sephora and not a cash withdrawal, because that's what I do. I'll go out and buy myself some makeup, but you won't catch me taking $50 cash out to go get a bag or something,
yeah.
But it's like, but I never even, that's why I feel like I have so much work to do still, because I see where, like, I kind of didn't even give him a chance to not fail. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not taking responsibility for his relapses or anything, but like, I'm a hard person to please, and I'm a hard person to be in a relationship with. And when I look at my husband, I see my mother, because I'm the same way my dad is. And to be with me or my dad, you have to literally be a saint, because I'm fucking crazy,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, and I think that's the thing that goes into just learning boundaries. And when you say boundaries, a lot of times we think of like boundaries for ourselves, for the other person. But it goes both ways, that we got to give them boundaries to where we trust them when they leave, that they're not getting high. You know what I mean? We got to give them the same boundaries we want for ourselves. So trying to be empathetic, something I've just learned, like really tried to start doing the past couple of years. And, because a lot of times, like, we think about it in our own terms, but we don't want to give them the same boundaries. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we want them to trust us that we're not going to get high, but you know what I mean? But when they leave, we're worried they're going to, you know what I mean? You can't, it's hard not to do that though at the same time. So
Especially when that's what we were doing. I know y'all are probably like me and Neil. Me and Neil, it was like, either when we got paid or when we came up on money, it was like, all right, what are we going to go do? Let's go get high. And we'd be out the door going to get pills together,
Yeah.
And so when we got sober and we had to start changing our lives, it was like, how do you do that? How do you stay sober with someone who you shot dope with for years? Like, how do you do that?
The one thing I could say, it worked out for us since I went to prison and got out. Like, when we got back together, like, we literally changed everything. We moved to a new town. We didn't move like real far away, but we moved about an hour away. We really cut off anybody we used with. We had to change everything. We plugged into, like, not just recovery, we plugged into our faith and our local church and stuff like that, and tried to serve, like, because you got to keep yourself busy, I'd say. That's the, for addicts, like, that free time is normally what gets us bored to where we go out and want to use because we just never had them healthy habits. So keeping
Right.
busy is what builds them habits. I guess is what one thing that I've realized. Uh, that's why it's so important to serve when you're in 12-step groups or anything like that. Is the more of a part of it you become and stay busy with that as a focus, that keeps us from falling back because we have an obsession with drugs, right? You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
um, I know, like with me, it wasn't just using, it wasn't just the dope. Even after I wasn't really a hustler or making money off, I was just an addict, but I still
Mm-hmm.
hustled. You know what I mean? Like it was, there was just so much that went into using, you know what I mean? So like when we get sober, we're just sitting around like and don't know what to do with ourselves because 12 hours of our day used to be consumed with getting up in the morning, making sure we were right that morning, hustling to make sure we had a little money or something to go to bed with. That way we were right the next morning. I mean, your whole day was wrapped up in that.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing is learning how to have a healthy life, man. It's not easy, it's always a work in progress, you know.
How is it with you and your wife? Like, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but how is y'all's intimate relationship now that y'all are sober? Are you guys able to like? Do you feel confident and comfortable, like getting it on with her, or are you kind of like I'm sober now and it's not the same as when we were high having sex? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, honestly, it's better because like I have more trust in her. I think she has more trust in me. Like we know there's no infidelity. Them things are gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, I'd say we got two kids and stuff. So like kids definitely interfere in your
I
love
know what you
life.
mean.
You know what I mean? But we're blessed. I mean, we're definitely blessed. Like I feel like we're definitely more connected. You know what I mean? Like our lives, we have more trust, I believe. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like, I mean, life definitely gets better, really fast, man. Like for us, it was just crazy. Like the first couple years, even the first 2 years after my last relapse, like we just got engulfed in family life. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and don't get me wrong, like there was a lot of fights the first 2 years living together with
Mm-hmm.
with a kid, a boy going through puberty and a newborn baby, like and trying to make it all mesh while still having staying clean and sober. So like,
Yeah.
but you know, if you just I mean, if you there's always a way to make it work. And that's what I wanted to share this for.
Communication.
Yeah,
Communicating. I found with me and Neil, and I know people are going to ask this because we're both on Suboxone, and a lot of people who get on medically assisted treatment, they have side effects from the medication to where they don't feel the feelings, they don't get horny. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm trying to
I
say.
mean, honestly,
And so,
myself,
go
I
ahead.
don't, I'd say I'm probably healthier now than I've really ever been. But like, I exercise, like, you know what I mean. I try to take care of myself. So like, um,
And
I
that
don't know.
helps your testosterone and all that stuff probably pump more so that way you stay healthy and you can stay.
I think it helps.
Because I know that for
If
me
you
and
work out, I think it probably helps your libido as a man. Um,
yeah, yeah.
so I mean, and I know like I've heard vice versa. Like I have heard people with that problem with the libido. Um, and I think a lot of it is, um, maybe I think a lot of it's maybe insecurities because we were always using that lowers your inhibitions. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
when you're intimate,
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? So I think a lot of that is like getting used to, getting comfortable. You know what I mean? Like I guess in that manner, without being, when we're not using, because a lot of times that does lower the inhibitions and everything. But um, I'd say like the biggest
Sorry.
thing is
I had to let the dog go potty.
oh no, you're good. I'd say the biggest thing I'd let people know is like you got to find your own self-worth and your own program. You got to find, you know what I mean? Because that's
Yes.
what's going to keep you. If they relapse, that's what's going to keep you to be like, okay, what am I going to do to keep myself sober and take care of my kids right? Or what you know what I'm saying? So, you know, because like you said, with your situation with your son, like I'm sure if he went out using and like really went off the rails, that's the way you got to look at it because you know it's definitely hard on kids. You know, like even my daughter who's never seen me in active addiction, like she's still, even though I've never been in active addiction around her, like statistically, she's going to be more likely to be an addict because she's got a mom and dad who are both recovering addicts. You know, like
Right.
even though she's raised in a healthy family, she's been at this. She was dedicated to our church when she was 2 years old or 2 months old. She's got to grow up there, you know, the last 4 years. And we've tried to give her, you know, the most wholesome life we could, but statistically, like they're just more prone to it, and genetically probably. I think addiction is somewhat genetic.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's one thing. Like I admire that you guys got clean for your son because that's who the real victim. You know, I mean, the biggest victims in the opiate epidemic are the kids because you know there's a lot of orphans that don't have their you know mother or father because of overdoses, and there's a lot of kids that aren't being taken care of right. You know, to be honest,
Right.
you know, so
We're so fortunate, like seriously, because Nathaniel was the angel that was sent. I swear to God, like I can't even explain it any other way than that my son was a miracle, that he was me being pregnant was God. Like that's the only other thing I can explain it. I had never been pregnant before except for one time, had an abortion many years, and I couldn't get pregnant ever again. I had tried before irresponsibly, and then when me and Neil got pregnant, it was just crazy, and it was the fact that it happened. I know that it was God. I know it was God doing for me what I couldn't do for myself. You know what I mean?
it's funny.
My son saved me.
When I had my last relapse was when my daughter when my wife pretty much called me and said she was pregnant, and we had been together, you know, pretty much. We had like a year and a half break in a 10-year period. Okay, we had never had a kid, you know, never had any, you know what I mean. She had like one miscarriage, so like it was just so random that she ended up pregnant at that time, right after I had relapsed, and you know, like it was a motivating factor for me, like that I had to be responsible for another life. It did definitely I was a very selfish person. Like I never realized how self-centered I was until until I had a kid and became a father. Like I never
Right.
realized like how selfish I was. And I think getting out of yourself is one thing that'll help you in your recovery for sure. Trying to help others, trying to just do them things. It gets you out of yourself, and I think that's helpful as far as our recovery goes. You know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I have a question in here, and it doesn't really pertain to what we're talking about, but I want to get your opinion. And just so everybody knows, me and Jeff, we are not doctors. We are not counselors. We are not therapists. We're two addicts that are in recovery. We're both on maintenance medication, and we were just sharing our personal experience. But Vegas Barbie asks, she says she wants to know how to get off hydrocodone. She's on 10 milligrams of hydrocodone, and she's been on it for over, I think she said 10 years, and she wants to know how to get off of hydrocodone. And this is my opinion, and then Jeff, you tell us or you go ahead and tell your opinion first, Jeff.
I would recommend to go over to Dr. B's page and maybe give him a ring, but I would also, I would see if she could taper, like cut her dose in half, see how that works. Because I know that's it's tricky. I don't want to say to go on maintenance medicine because to go on methadone or something maybe stronger than what she's on, I don't think is the right idea. And I don't even know if Suboxone would be the right idea. You know what I mean? Like, so that's tricky. So that's why I'd say maybe to reach out to a doctor because, you know, I know 10 milligrams of hydrocodone is enough to make you, physically addicted to it at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's tricky ground. But to me, if it's beneficial to be on maintenance medicine and it works for you, do it. You got to, I mean, it's about quality of life to me. It's about recovery is a lot more than just, I don't know. It's about what you do with your life. If you're bettering your life, you know what I mean? Like, I see a lot of people who are completely abstinent who seem like they've not moved forward like as much as I have. Not saying my program's better than theirs. I know people who are abstinent who've done a lot more amazing things than I've might ever do. But it's about what works for you, what's going to be able to help you get, just have the best life possible. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I
would look at it like from this. I would try to say like, okay, first of all, for me, she says she's taking 6 to 10 hydrocodone a day. So now that 10 hydros a day, that's 100 milligrams of hydrocodone plus Tylenol or acetaminophen, whatever's in it. So that's hard on your liver, kidneys and all that stuff. I would take 6 to 10 hydros at a time, easy, any day. And I also, from experience being in the Suboxone clinic with other people, I know people that are on Suboxone because of their addiction to hydrocodones. And they were taking multiple amounts of hydrocodone a day. So what I think it is, it's like, you got to look at it from this point of view, Vegas. Like, are you getting off of hydrocodone because you're having a negative experience with hydrocodone? Are you buying it off the streets? Are you abusing it every single day? Or are you taking a pain and you're not abusing it? That could just, then don't be getting off of it because you feel like you need to get off of it because, other people are telling you, like,
if you're,
I think that legitimate pain, some people might have to be on medicine for the rest of their life, whether it be hydrocodone or Suboxone for pain. But if you're addicted to it and you're abusing it and you're having negative consequences, you're buying it off the street, you're selling your rings and pawning stuff, maybe even giving your kids away for a hydrocodone, then I would absolutely go and talk to Dr. B over on his channel, like Jeff said. But here's the thing for me, I can't taper myself with hydrocodone because hydrocodone still gives me that high feeling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I would try to taper off of it, I would always take that extra one just so I could get that high feeling, And so I could not taper on my own. The beauty of Suboxone is that you're not getting that high feeling.
There's no benefit.
Now that I'm tapering off Suboxone,
there's no benefit to taking extra or trying to take acid.
To taking more.
Yeah.
Right.
And
so
that is
now that I'm tapering off Suboxone. Right. It's easier to taper myself off Suboxone, I feel like, in my mindset psychologically, than it was for me to taper off of opiates, that full opioids that would give me the high feeling.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And also, because I have a doctor who is taking me through the taper, who is monitoring me, I think it's really important if you're abusing hydrocodone to go and see your doctor and tell your doctor, hey, I'm abusing my hydrocodone and I need help getting off it because I don't want to be like this anymore. I'm not happy where I'm at.
Yeah, that's one thing I want to tell people is you can be honest with your doctor and you're not going to get in trouble. They can't, you know what I mean? It's HIPAA, it's privacy laws. First of all, if you think you might be an addict, get honest with your doctor. Because I'm telling you, that's one thing I've had to do. Like, I've had doctors where they've seen my medical report. They've seen like what I used to be on, medicine wise. And I've had doctors almost put me back on Loratab or Percocet before, that when I moved and switched doctors. And I had to be open, I've had to get used to being open with any doctor I have that, hey, I'm a recovering addict. I can't take benzos. I can't take this. And not saying that, some people can take medicine right and some people can't. Everybody's a little different. That's why if you're not abusing a medicine, like you said, if you're taking a medicine for pain and you're not abusing it, don't let people shame you into getting off medicine that you may need.
Right, that's helping you live your life and be able to walk around and move. You know
yeah,
what I'm
and
saying? Because I know some people that like get shamed because they have legitimate pain because of this opioid epidemic that we're in. And it's like some people have to have medications for legitimate pain. But if you're an
yeah,
addict like we are, like I've lost the luxury of being able to have pain medication. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like I just I can't trust myself with it, and I can't taper myself off of it. I can't take it responsibly. Like it's a danger to me and other people around me.
If I was to have an injury, and this has been a worry of mine for the past couple of years, if I have a major injury, um, I know the only time even if I was in the hospital, I can only take medicine if they were to, you know what I mean? Like I could not handle any type of pain medicine on my own. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah,
like
I know
you
what you
said.
mean.
So yeah, like it just, I can't trust myself with it. And that's the thing is, I hate that people get this shame over if they take a medicine that they're not abusing, because here's the thing, to be honest with yourself as an addict and be like, hey, am I taking this for correct use or am I abusing it? To be able to get honest with yourself like that, you normally need to have a 12-step program to help you. But yet you've got people in 12-step programs shaming people who need their, you know what I mean? Like, so it just, I believe recovery is about support. You know what I mean? Like not worrying about if someone takes a pill, or you know what I mean? If someone has medicine that helps them stay in their recovery, you should be happy for them. You know what I mean? Like it should be
Right.
about support, not about shaming, and I feel like a
Why do
lot
you
of,
think that there is such a stigma? Why do you think there's such a stigma surrounding medically assisted treatment in our recovery community?
I mean, I do know there are a lot of people who abuse Suboxone to where it makes it look bad for the people like me and you, and a lot of people. I mean, I know a lot of people. I know people who are in the nursing field who are on this medicine, on medically assisted treatment, and
Mm.
they can't be open about their recovery or nothing because their job, and it would just be they can't. And I think the stigma is from a lot of the people who abuse it, people who are selling it, and I get that, and it sucks because at the same time, the people, you know what I mean? Like you don't want to say you should crack down on who you give medicine to, because people just coming into recovery might mess up and sell their medicine the first couple months and then get to where they're not. You know what I mean? Like so, it's like
Right.
I get where people are coming from to an extent, but at the same time, if I'm coming into the rooms and I'm telling you I'm on Suboxone and blah blah blah, I'm not the person out there selling my medicine or abusing it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I mean,
Right.
who's
If
getting
you're in the meeting, you're
yeah,
wanting to be there for help.
yeah,
Yeah.
who's getting high or shooting Suboxone and then walking into an NA meeting? You know what I mean? Like if I'm out using, I'm not worried about trying to pretend to be sober. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what kills me with the whole stigma about it, is the people that's supposed to, where you're supposed to be able to be open and in a safe place are sometimes the most judgmental. And that's where I feel like a few bad apples have ruined a really good, what used to be an awesome community. A few people in their opinion are poisoning a whole, you know what I mean? Like something that's an
We're
awesome group.
changing the game though, man.
Yeah.
Like we're changing the game surrounding medically assisted recovery anonymous. Like
Well,
it's seriously, you guys, stick around. The Real Talk Recovery, stick around. Jeff's channel, The Recovery. These channels where we're supporting people that are on maintenance. I'm telling you, like this is a new wave. This is good. This is the way it always should have been. No judgment, all inclusive recovery. Come as you are. welcome, have a seat. Let's share what we're going through together. That's what recovery is about.
It's about
Therapeutic
support, man.
value of sharing with one addict to the other.
Yeah. No. And that's the way it should be, man. And you know, I'm glad that people are getting able to have this support now, because it is a shame, Um it's just not what it's
He's
about.
gonna be awesome. I'm telling you, there's gonna be plans. Y'all are gonna see. It's gonna be a whole thing. Dr. B's over there doing his thing. I'm over here doing my thing. We're coming together and doing our things together.
I'm
And
actually
so,
talking to a doctor tomorrow about helping with opening a sober living that's a medically assisted treatment, a medically assisted sober living. Because there's only one.
that's what's up. That's so awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how soon it'll happen, but it'll happen in the next 5 years. Watch.
I'm excited. Okay, Jeff. Well, plug your channel. Tell everybody when you go live, where they can find you, and all that good stuff.
Look, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7:30 Eastern time. The recovery, we're live. Mayor meetings. Plus, I go live randomly too. But come over, check it out. It's all about support and inclusiveness. So, thanks for having me on, Nicole.
I love you, man.
All
I'm
right.
gonna link your channel. You know the deal.
I know.
I got you.
I love y'all. Have a good one.
Love you too. All right, bye. Okay, guys. All right, you guys, what's up? So we'll chat for about a couple minutes before I go, okay? So there will not be a stigma on such medication soon if we continue to demonstrate the right and proper use of such medication and its life-saving properties. Absolutely. So, yeah, I just want you guys to know, like, Vegas, best thing you can do is go and just tell somebody. Tell your doctor that if you get your prescription from a doctor, go in there and just tell them, man, I don't like the way I feel on this medication anymore. And just be honest. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Okay? Being on hydrocodone for any amount of time past like a couple days, past a week or so, maybe a week, 3 days, 4 days, you're going to build a dependence to it. So that's the thing. Like, being on opiates long term, your body develops a dependency to the medication. So no matter what, you would need assistance tapering off the medication. If you go to your doctor and you say, yo, doc, I want to get off these hydros. I don't like the way they're making me feel anymore. Your doctor can set you up with a taper program. He can start taking away milligrams, sending you home with that. And then when you get down to the point where you're going to jump off, he can even write you a prescription to help with like your blood pressure, your sleep, your restless leg, whatever you're going to go through. Or they can even bring you in and let you stay at the hospital for 3 or 4 days to monitor your detox and keep you hydrated and all that kind of stuff. So, girl, you're all right. You're going to be all right. Just don't go to the doctor and tell them, okay? Don't hide it. Don't be ashamed. Let them know so they can help you, okay? Lots of people are going through exactly what you're going through right now. So these doctors will be able to help you. If you don't have a doctor you can talk to, like I said, you can talk to Dr. B. His channel is called Dr. B Addiction Recovery. And all you have to do is call the number listed on his YouTube channel and set up an appointment to talk to him on the phone, and he'll get back with you. He's really good about that. So thank you for linking his channel, Cindy. I appreciate it. So how's everybody else doing tonight? Did you guys? I like talking with Jeff. Because I feel like I'm pulling more out of him as the conversation goes. Jeff always comes in at first and he's like not really. He's kind of reserved, and then as the conversation goes, he starts sharing more and more. You know, they say more will be revealed. That's how Jeff is. More is always revealed. So we're both in relationships with addicts. Like, my husband's in recovery and his wife is in recovery, and we're both on maintenance medication, and I truly believe that whenever you're two addicts and you get sober together, like I said, it's something happened in my life, just in my mind. It was a divine intervention, a moment of clarity. Hey, Leroy, where I was like, I don't want to live my life like this anymore, you know? And now, the longer I stay sober, you guys, thank you, Cindy, so much. The longer I stay sober, the more I'm starting to become aware of my behaviors, how I am with my husband, and what all I can work on to be a better wife. And yeah, it's a learning experience. I'm learning every single day, you guys. I'm not perfect. I have struggles, you know, and I am aware of myself today. That's one thing that I didn't have in my addiction, was self-awareness. Now I'm so aware of my words, what I say, how I treat others, you know. Hey, Amy, it's okay, girl. I'm glad you're here. So, do you guys have any questions, or do you have anything that you want to say in the chat that I can see? Because I'm reading the chat now. So, if you guys want to talk about anything, if you have a question for me, um, anything, you guys, I love it. I want to interact with you guys. I want to hear what you guys have to say. I want to hear how you're doing in your recovery. I want to know what you did today. Okay. I'll tell you what I did today. Today, okay, you're doing okay. Bad Leroy Brown, baddest man in the whole damn town. Terrible day. Mom's still in the hospital. Boyfriend's drinking, and I'm struggling. Okay, Amy, well, let's talk about it. Okay, you guys, so Amy's mom is in the hospital, and her boyfriend is drinking, and she's struggling. So, Amy, are you struggling because you're triggered? Are you struggling because you're upset because your mom's not feeling good and she's in the hospital, and your man's drinking? I almost relapsed bad with self-harm today. Amy, okay, girl. Well, listen, Amy, we need you to get in here and talk with us about this. I don't know a lot about self-harm. I know that when I first met my husband, he used to self-harm, and he hasn't done it in 6 years, and I'm so proud of him. But I'm going to tell you guys something. It used to scare me so bad, so bad. So, what can we do to help you, Amy? What can we do to do you have therapy? Are you going to go to therapy tomorrow? Have you called your therapist? Have you connected with your sober support in real life? You can text me, girl. Text me so that way we can talk. I want you to come into the Discord and hang out with me and Merk, and everybody's in the Discord. It's guys and girls. Merk linked it a bunch of times in the chat. Everything is so much right now. It's so overwhelming, and I have one therapy appointment left this year. When things become overwhelming and it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, this is what you do, okay? You just breathe in and realize that you're not alone, that everything does not have to happen today or tomorrow even, okay? All you have to do is take it one day at a time, 1 second at a time, 1 minute at a time. Yes, all you have to do is follow the link, and it will hook it right up to your phone, and you will be in there with all of us. There's so many of us in there, you guys. If you haven't joined the Discord, come on over. We had one of the girls today was struggling, and I just happened to be in there, and right away I was like, it's okay, I'm here. You know, it is hard around the holidays, you guys. I feel like what happens is during the holidays, everything feels like it's magnified times 10. You know, we got our family around, we got our kids running around, we got all these things that we need to do. And just remember that the holidays, it's not about how much money you spend on your kids or your family. It's about just being with the people that you love. All right? If the people that you love is here on Real Talk Recovery, then that's what the holidays are for. Being with Real Talk Recovery family. You know, we're going to have, just so you guys know, Christmas Eve, I'm going to be live streaming on Facebook and in Patreon. And we're going to have, my family's going to be on there, my kid, my husband, we're all going to be, Missa is going to be there. Like, we're all going to be there having a DeMayo Christmas, DeMayo Pludre Christmas. And so if you are alone on Christmas and you're like, I'm not going to have nobody, we'll be live streaming on Christmas Eve. So get your ass in the Facebook group so you can be on the live stream with us. Or join my Patreon, okay? Now, I'll probably live stream later on just a little bit from my YouTube, but the reason why I'm not doing it to the YouTube is because I want my son and the other kids to be able to be on my video, and they can't if I on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So Cindy, I think, asked me, to be honest, I think my new antidepressant is not working at all. I've got to be on a new one. How long have you been taking it? And what is it? And Cindy, I saw that you asked about my taper, and so let me tell you what's been going on. I stopped yawning, so that's been a blessing, but I have noticed something. I am so emotional, and I know you guys are probably like, Nicole, you're always emotional, right? No, I mean even more though. I mean like very emotional. And I want you guys to know something else. I feel like I want to have sex all the time, which is amazing. Because listen, that's something that I had lost when I was on my higher dosage. And so getting down to this 4 milligrams, I have just been feeling frisky, which is amazing, you guys, because that's what I felt. And listen, please, if you're not having that feeling, don't think that I'm like, this is just my experience. Like when I went up on my Suboxone to 12 milligrams and I stayed there, I had no motivation or feeling to like get intimate, you know? And so now I'm starting to like, I don't want to lay in bed all day. Okay. And I don't know if it's because my depression is lifting or it's because my medication is tapered down. But I'm telling you guys, like, I can feel a change. I'm more active. I'm more active here on my channel. I'm more active around the house. I'm doing the dishes. I'm doing laundry. I'm staying on top of my chores. Like before, these were things that I was just so sluggish feeling. And I feel like I'm not, it's just a different, I just don't know how to explain it. Now, unless you were on Suboxone for, a while and then you started tapering down a little bit, then you might not notice, you might think I'm just crazy, but these are just little things that I've noticed that I'm starting to feel more. Yeah. And you know what, Cindy? Like yesterday so me and Dr. B was recording yesterday. And so he's going to put that video up on his channel on Friday. And so when I was recording with Dr. B, I was like, got really emotional towards the end of the video. And every time I talk to Dr. B, I get emotional because I just feel like I just am so grateful that he found me on YouTube and that we found each other, because I questioned my recovery for so long, and I just really needed that reassurance from somebody, a medical professional, to let me know that, what I was doing was right for me. And just being able to connect with him and know that just hearing him say, like, you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, what you're saying is true, you're not just like, it's reassuring for me. And I needed that reassurance. And because I've worked so hard to work on my recovery and healing on the inside. I've worked so hard to educate myself about medically assisted treatment and my disease. And so I knew I had worked hard, but I needed to hear it from someone else, and somebody that I hold in such high regard. It's good to have that reassurance. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so that was just something I really struggled with, you guys. Like, and it was something you guys also need to understand, that when I was in active addiction, I was also shooting up methamphetamine. So my sex drive was amplified times 1,000. So you guys also have to take into consideration that I was on stimulants, and those stimulants made me want to do that all the time. And so when I went from wanting to do it all the time to absolutely zero, nothing, a lot of it had to do with me getting off methamphetamine, and maybe some of it had to do with the medication. You know what I mean? Hey guys, can't stay long, just want to say hi. Hey Summer, what's up, girl? Thanks for coming in. What's up? Hey, we're just talking about life and relationships and recovery. You guys, we're a strong group here, you guys. A strong group. I have to tell y'all, I'm so proud of how far we have come as a community here on Real Talk Recovery. I go back after I upload these videos and I look through you guys' live chats and I see how y'all interact with each other. I see how you guys welcome one another and reach out to each other and tell each other you love each other and that you're there for each other. And I get these feelings inside me. I'm just like, y'all are doing it. You guys are doing it. This is a community. That's why I want you guys to come into the Discord so that way you can get to know each other even more. You're amazing too, Amy. And listen, each one of you guys works so hard. And I see you guys working hard. I see you putting effort into your recovery. I'm so damn proud of you guys. We have a sobriety birthday to celebrate Friday, y'all. Don't let me forget. Ryan, aka Scarecrow, is going to be 2 months sober. 60 days sober on Friday. Which I remember when he first found our channel 60 days ago. And you know what, Leroy? We have worked so hard, this core group of people that I started out with, to build this channel and this community to be a positive experience for anyone that comes in. I truly believe in respect. As long as you come in and you're respectful, we will treat you with nothing but love and kindness. Nothing but. Amy, I'm going to tell you something, and Cindy probably knows because she's obviously knows that I've been being emotional. I was thinking last night after I got off the live stream about why I started my channel, about how much my life has changed in the last year since making this YouTube channel. And I was thinking about every person that I've talked to over the last year. Each person's life that I've got to be a part of, each person's recovery that I've got to be a part of, right? And I'm like, it's like I've got to be somebody's sister or aunt or I've got to be in y'all's families, you know what I mean? And I get to talk to at least 3 of you every single day. There's not a day that goes by that I don't get to be of service to you guys. Hey, Kelly, what's up, girl? And I love being of service to y'all. I hope you realize that. Like, this is my passion. This is my calling, is helping other people. You know, and I want y'all to know, like, if you're struggling and you're like wanting to get high, all you have to do is pick up the phone and call me. I promise you, by the time you hang up the phone with me, you won't even be thinking about getting high. All right? I promise you that. I'm telling you, if there's one thing I'm good at, I'm good at talking, and I can talk you right out of it. I'll talk you out of a relapse. I'll talk you out of a relapse and into a meeting, baby. You hear me? I talk myself out of things because I'm telling y'all, I finally realize that my life is worth more than shooting drugs into my veins. I finally realized that my son deserves to have me as his mom and that I'm the best mom for him because I was made perfectly for him and he was made perfectly for me. I'm telling you guys, like, I have so much to be grateful for, and I want to do a year in review. In January, I want to do a January, like a New Year's Eve video with you guys where we just sit and I just share with you guys. And I'm probably going to write out a whole damn essay about how grateful and thankful I am for each and every single one of you guys. Even the people that have came and don't come back to Real Talk Recovery anymore. Even the people that were just here for a season, right? Because each one of you guys played a substantial part in me growing into the person that I am today. You know, you guys helped me change my life. You know, um, I get your emails. For those of you that send me emails and don't think that I read them, I get your emails. I see you, and I want you to know, like, I'm here and you are helping me. In fact, I got an email from somebody, and I hope if this person is in the chat, they'll say something. I got an email from a young lady who is 23 weeks pregnant, and I want her to know that I sent her an email. I texted her my email or my cell phone number back, so to call me, please. You guys would be surprised like how many people watch these videos and they never say anything. They just listen. So if you're listening and you're sitting, you're hiding out right now, you don't have to suffer alone. You do not have to do this on your own. Stop hiding. Stop trying to do this on your own. Reach out for help. Okay, come and get right in the middle, and let's rally up around these people who are struggling, you guys, and let's lift them up. All right, let's show them how to live clean. You know, one thing I'm telling you guys that you got to do, you cannot get around it. If you want to get clean and sober, you got to open your mouth and you got to say, I need help, because a closed mouth doesn't get fed. And it just is what it is. You need to let other people know that you're struggling. Because when you're going around and you're like, I'm fine, or I don't have an addiction, I'm okay, or I only take 17 pills a day, it's not that big of a deal, right? Right? When you're minimizing your addiction like that, then nobody's going to know that you're struggling, right? Nobody's going to know. So, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. Millions of people are struggling with the disease of addiction right now. And, sorry, I had to take it back. If you're on opiates for an extended amount of time, it's almost guaranteed that you're going to have a dependency and you're going to need help getting off of them. So there's nothing to be ashamed of. I'm glad you did too, Amy. I know a lot of people listen because of anonymity, okay? I know a lot of people don't want other people to know who they are. And if that is your situation, make up a fake screen name and come in under a different name, you know? So that way you don't have to worry about somebody hearing, knowing your real name. You know what I mean? But anyway, Leonard, you wish it was a carrot. You know it's damn candy. Fruit roll-ups, baby. Right. Yes, and yeah, it is okay to sit back and just listen, but I guess it's me being selfish. I want to know, I want to hear from you. I want to talk to you guys. You know, that's why I do these live streams, because I like interacting with y'all. You know, that's my channel is all about interacting with you guys. It's not about me pre-recording a video and throwing it up for some views or whatever. The basis of this channel is support, okay? Community. That's what this is about. It's about being able to interact with each other in this group setting. This is what makes it so different and amazing, is that we do these meetings and we have this interaction with each other, you know, 3 times a week, you guys. 3 times a week guaranteed you can come to Real Talk Recovery. And we're going to be live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Love you too, Reaper Man. Tell Dragon Lady I said I love her too. Hello. What's up, man? I'm on a live stream. You want to talk to everybody? Do what? What? Oh, that's good. I'm going to tell everybody when I get off the phone with you, okay? Okay, I'll call you right back when I get done. All right, bye. That was Jerry, aka Bobby. Bobby is the screen name, but his real name is Jerry. Y'all probably know who he is. He is graduating drug court on January 8th. So this is what I'm talking about, you guys. Like, I talk to you guys in real life. This is my homie. And we're going to have a meet and greet, and we're going to all meet each other one day. I'm telling y'all. So he's going to graduate drug court January 8th. Isn't that amazing? That's a freaking miracle, you guys. When he first started coming on to Real Talk Recovery, he had just gotten on the methadone clinic. There he is. What's up, baby? He had just gotten on the clinic, and he was like not really feeling it. He was helping him, but then he was like he hated it at the same time. And now look, he's fixing to graduate. Yeah, he's fixing to graduate drug court. So that's awesome. That is awesome. So yeah, you guys, like, this is like real stuff. Yes. Like, you guys are my people, and I'm never going to be too good to talk to my people. You know what I mean? And I don't give a damn if my phone has to ring off the hook all day, every day. You know, if you call me, I love talking to you guys. I love hearing about your recovery, your life, what you're going through, what you need, because it helps me stay sober. Please realize that it really does help me in the long run. And I really want you guys to understand that. I'll never, ever be able to repay you guys for like letting me be here and share my stupid, crazy drug addiction stories with you guys, and cry on my live streams all the time, and be overly emotional. Like, you guys don't judge me. You don't make fun of me. You guys just love me and support me, even though I'm a fucking hot mess a lot of the time. And I really, 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 I know that. I see that, and I'm so grateful. I am so grateful. Thank you for being so supportive of my hot mess ass. Yes, it is worth it. You know what? And now you're going to be like, now I can't wait to see what you do once you're totally free from that, because drug court is such a son of a bitch. Y'all, I remember whenever I got caught with dope, they offered me drug court, and I was like, oh no, I couldn't do it. So I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you guys. Another friend of mine just graduated drug court too. That's a difficult thing to do. Yes, yes. Especially if you're in early recovery, because it's almost like I've heard people say that that's like a setup. You know what I mean? It sets you up for failure. But obviously it can be done, because my man Jerry done smashed it. Smashed it. So I'm so proud of you guys. Don't forget, let me remind you guys one more time. Friday, we're having Mr. Jimmy on. He's going to share his experience, strength, and hope. You help me so much, for real. Everyone that rides with recovery, Real Talk Recovery, love you to the end, Nicole. I love you too. I love you too. Nicole, you have helped me realize when I can and I'm ready. I want to be a drug counselor. I want to help others too now. I want them to know I know what it's like to struggle every day. And I hope they see me then how I see you, Nicole, now. Oh, you don't understand. Y'all just don't understand. I had no confidence. I don't even know. When you guys say stuff like that to me, and I read it on the screen and I see it, like, you look at me, I can't even it's like I can't comprehend it, because I remember, I've never had anybody say that to me. You know what I mean? Until this last year, when I started doing this on YouTube, I had always just been so down on myself, and I didn't love myself. I felt like insecure and not good enough and not worthy, and like I didn't fit in. And even when I got sober, like, in the back of my mind, I always had this voice, you guys, that tells me, like, you can't do that like other people can do it. You will never be able to do it like so and so. Look at how far they've come. It's because of XYZ, and you don't have that. And I don't know why that I have that voice that tells me that I can't achieve things or I can't make my life better. And I'm telling you guys, you know what I want to tell you? I see that same negative self-talk in my 5-year-old son. And that's how I know, like, it's something that I was born with. Do you know what I'm saying? That's how the disease of addiction is, you guys. I was born with this spiritual sickness, this hole in my soul, this feeling that I wasn't quite. You know how a puzzle has all the pieces and it's put together and it looks perfect and pristine? Well, I was that puzzle that was missing the whole middle pieces, like 5 pieces to the middle. So there was just this gaping hole in the middle of the puzzle. And now, you guys, I feel like my pieces are getting put back and I'm finally becoming a total puzzle, a complete package. Do you know what I'm saying? But I couldn't become whole again until I had become totally broken apart. And that's what it was like for me in my addiction. I was born with this hole, and I was trying to fill it with all these different pieces that wouldn't fit right. And so I had to totally take it apart, get all the puzzle pieces, spread them all around, and then start over from scratch and build that puzzle back one by one. And I finally feel like my puzzle pieces are fitting now. One of my customers that buys seafood from me was good friends with Judge, and one phone call, and when I tell you this morning, my life has changed. So I'm saying this to say, be kind to everybody. Right? We all have that voice. That's why I'm writing down those negative feelings and scratching them out. I'll try anything to shut my brain up. And you know what, you guys, like I was saying, my little boy is 5 years old, and like he already does the same thing that I was doing and how I felt when I was younger. Like today, he said, I was like, he was playing a game and he couldn't do it. And he's like, I'm terrible at this. I'm never going to be able to do this. And I was like, Nate, no. I said, you say, I'm going to do this. I can. I'm going to make it. And it was just like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't realize how strong our brains, how strong our internal dialogue is and how it can affect our lives. You have to change the way you talk to yourself. You have to start loving yourself. And if you don't, if you feel that void, if you feel a hole inside of you and you can identify it, get help, get therapy, reach out, call someone, call another addict who knows what you're going through, call somebody like me who knows. I know what it's like to have this void in me. I'm telling you guys, I'm able to fill the void because I'm staying sober, I'm doing the next right thing, and I'm helping others. My purpose was to help other people. I went through my addiction, every single thing, because it was God's plan for me to have a story to be able to share with others. Do you hear me? I'm telling you guys, you have a purpose. There is a reason why you are going through what you are going through right now. It is not for nothing. It is a part of a greater picture, a greater story. You just have to follow your heart and start putting the story together, and then you'll see it. Once you put down the dope, once you start staying true to your heart, doing the right thing, staying sober, doing esteemable acts, getting a job, being of service, helping others, the purpose will be so clear to you. It'll be like you're looking through glass that is shiny and new. That's how clear to me it is that my purpose is to share what I went through in my past with other people, not because I think it's cool or I'm proud of it, but because there's other people that are going through the exact same thing or have been through the exact same thing, and they say, I'm lost. How did you get to where you are today? How do you become happy? How do you love yourself? How do you love someone else? How do you take care of your kids without wanting to get high? How do you live without wanting to use? Right? It's all been a huge learning experience, but I'm telling you guys right now, I don't want to get high. I want to be sober. I want to be present. I want to love my son. I want to love my husband. And I want to know you guys. I want to love you guys. I want to hear your stories. I couldn't do any of these things if I was getting fucked up still. Not one single thing. I wouldn't answer the phone. I wouldn't text nobody back. I would not be consistent. And that's one of the main things that I always can tell when somebody's struggling is lack of consistency. I will stay so consistent when I'm doing well because I'm following through, because I'm doing what I said I'm going to do. But when I'm struggling, the consistency goes out the door. Do you know what I'm saying? So I set these goals and I set these to check off so I stay on task and I stay on track with you guys. But if I didn't have you guys to stay accountable to, man, I'm telling you what, it's like a weight kind of. It holds me steady because I think in my mind, today, I didn't want to come on live stream tonight. I wanted to go lay down. I texted Jeff and I said, man, I'm really tired. I'm feeling really lazy, but I'll be on. I'll see you when you get here. Right? I was trying to weasel my way out of it. I didn't feel like getting on a live stream. And every time I don't feel like doing something for my recovery and I do it, I end up feeling 1000% better. So obviously, there's a reason why I do this, and it's because it helps me. It helps me stay on track, and I needed to be here with you guys. Your purpose is going to be so clear, you guys. It's going to be right in your face. And if you're like me and you get inspiration from what I'm doing, you can do the exact same thing. You can do the exact same thing. All you got to do is get sober, stay sober, and start sharing your experience. All right? And just if you need help, if you want to start out and you're like, I don't know where to start, hey, I'll help you out with whatever I can. If you want to start a YouTube channel and you're like, I don't know what, come on my channel. I'll interview you. I'll give anyone a chance that is trying to better their lives, you guys. Okay? I want you guys to know that I'm behind each and every one of you 1000%. If you're trying to stay sober and change your life, I'm 100% behind you. I used to understand what a person would say, I have to get high, etc. But I asked before you ever got Meg, you didn't need a drug before then, so just understand you allowed your body to what? Bobby, I can't even read what you're saying. But yeah, before I started getting high, I was doing other things. And that's what the disease of addiction is like. It will manifest itself in other areas of your life, you guys. Even before I started getting high on substances, as a little girl, I was addicted to like eating food. I was addicted to sugar. I was addicted to going out and getting new toys. Your brain that you need something that your body wasn't born with. Okay. Thank you, Cindy. We are all, listen, you guys, we all can do this and we can all stay sober one day at a time. All right. Okay, anyways, y'all know I could be babbling all night long. So let me get off here before I hold y'all hostage for 2 damn hours. Okay, I love you guys. I'll see you guys Friday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time with Mr. Jimmy. Mr. Jimmy is from OG Badgers Heavy Hitters. So for those of you guys that watch Badgers channel, be on the lookout on Friday because we're going to have Mr. Jimmy on. I'm so excited about it, you guys. He's a really, really sweet guy. Really cool man. I think he said he was like about to be 70 years old. So he's an old timer. He's got some wisdom of recovery. So be here Friday night at 7 if you want to hear some wisdom. And Yeah, I love you guys so much. If you want to get a hold of me or text me or just chat, text me at that number right there on the screen. Come and join our Discord and talk with us after this. All right. Love y'all.